Again, sans James Harden, the second time this week. The Nets need to start playing some defense. The Bucks going on an 18-1 run. The former MVP went 36-12 and 4. KD, what's the deal?
Hey, Kevin, they had that 18-1 run in the fourth quarter. Did you think you guys were forcing anything offensively shot-wise, or was it as simple as the ball not going in during that stretch and you guys were getting good looks?
You think we were forcing stuff, Alex?
I'm asking you.
All right. You can probably. We maybe took some risks there. You know what I'm saying? We probably could have maybe made an extra pass or two, but some of those risks you gotta live with, especially when guys are knocking down shots.
Alex doing that interview from the kitchen. Marinate on the standings in the East. Joel Embiid in the Sixers. Then we got KD's Nets, Giannis in his Bucks, and Stephen A's Knicks. He won't let you forget it. Max.
Yeah.
Can the Nets win the East without having James Harden?
No, they can't. He's the most important player on the team. I've been saying it. Kyrie is the most spectacular. KD is the best. Harden is the most important player on the team. I was skeptical of the Nets coming out of the East preseason. But once they made the trade, they need all three guys to be healthy because it thinned out the roster a bit. But more than any of that, guys, KD and Kyrie have now played, 20 games together, 20-something games together. They're right around 500 when they're both on the floor, when they're both on the court and they play in that game. Without Harden, they're around 500. With James Harden, they almost never lose. They're 27-7 with Harden. Not with Harden and both guys, just with Harden. They have a winning percentage, you can round it up, around 80%. They win around 4 out of every 5 games. They're 4-1 in every 5 games. You know what that means in a playoff series? It's a gentleman's sweep. Well, you're playing better teams. I saw James Harden go out west by himself and beat good Western Conference teams just with Kyrie. I saw when Kyrie wasn't playing, Harden rolled out of bed, showed up fat and out of shape, looking like a hot mess, and was walking triple-double with 30 points in wins with just KD. So with Harden, this team, a big three is healthy with James Harden. No one's going to beat them. Without James Harden, they will not get out of the East. Kendrick Perkins muted, apparently.
I'm not hearing Kendrick Perkins. Max, I don't think you are either.
I'm not trying to hear Kendrick Perkins. He knows I'm right.
All right. Anything else you want to add quickly, and then we'll go to commercial break and work on getting Kendrick back?
I want to hear what Kendrick Perkins has to say. Of course, big perk, but I'll say this. James Harden's play this year, he's won an MVP, he's a perennial MVP candidate. It was not certain how he would exist in that backcourt with Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
They were incredible. And he is the reason that they are impossible to beat. With James Harden and Kyrie and KD all healthy, this will be the greatest offense in the history of American team sports by far. That's how much James Harden means to this team. Without James Harden, they're not going to get by Philadelphia. Look, there's no stopping KD, but you got 2 great defenders in Thibault and obviously Ben Simmons that you can use. And we saw what the Bucks did. Look, KD and Kyrie both went for over 30. They had control of the game kind of late, and then the Bucks took them out. That's the second time in a row the Bucks have beaten them.
Yeah, Chris Middleton had a great game, too. Let me ask you this, why we're waiting here for Kendrick Perkins to dial back in and get this tech stuff working. The one thing that surprised me about your answer is in the past you've been very critical of Harden, especially in the playoffs. So I understand we have Perk back, but why has that tune changed for you where he's the guy?
That's a great question because Harden doesn't have to take the big shot on this team. That may relax him enough that he can do it and do it successfully, but he's got KD and Kyrie for crunch time if he needs them.
So you're confident he'll show up. Got it.
Very.
Perk, where are you on this?
Well, I respectfully disagree with Max, okay? And look, even with James Harden, I still got Philly coming out of the Eastern Conference. I'm not going to overreact from what I saw with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets because we saw this in the with the Milwaukee Bucks time and time again where they showed up and they dominated the regular season and fell short in the postseason. You have Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, a 2-time Finals MVP, and Kyrie Irving, a guy that hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history and Finals history on the same team together. They should be able to come out of the East. Hell, they better come out of the East with or without James Harden because they chose to team up together. Now, Molly, Max, here's the problem what I have with you, Max, is that you flip-flop so much. It is so irritating because it was 3-4 months ago. This same question was asked about who is the most important piece on this Brooklyn Nets team. You didn't say Kevin Durant. You didn't say Kyrie Irving. You didn't say James Harden. You know who you said? You said DeAndre Jordan.
Right.
You said
they weren't playing any
Jordan
defense.
in its own record, because I actually agreed with you and said that he is the missing piece. But you said that, and now you flip-flopping and saying that it's James Harden. And 3 or 4 months ago, you said that it was DeAndre Jordan.
I'm going to address that. I'm going to address that right now because I want to go see you down in Beaumont or wherever you want to take me. Look, I'll go see Kendrick Peoples. Look. The bottom line is the Nets had the worst defense of all time. Just like I said, they're going to have the best offense of all time. They literally, measurably had the worst defense of all time in the history of basketball, history of the NBA. So at that point, given the roster, I thought the guy who needs to step up to make this even an okay defense is DeAndre Jordan. At that moment, I thought it was true, and he started to do it. And then Claxton came back, and Claxton has to do it, and they got some bodies. Aldridge had to retire, but they have Blake. They have some bigger bodies, and they started quickly, much quicker than I thought, playing solid kind of mid-pack defense, which is, as you pointed out, Perk, all they needed to do. When you say I flip-flop, if by that you mean I adjust my opinion to new evidence, then you are correct. That's right. If there is new evidence, I adjust my opinion. That is true. What do you do?
You know what, Max? I will say this. I will say this about the Brooklyn Nets, right? And what they did in the past 2 games against the Milwaukee Bucks. When you get toward the end of the season, and it's a team that you could possibly face that is going to be in your way and stopping you to getting to your goal, which is the winning the championship, and you're at the end of the season, you don't want to give them no hope. You don't want to give them no confidence. And right now, the Milwaukee Bucks got confidence. Giannis, he has confidence to actually beat the Brooklyn Nets. So I will say, right now, the Brooklyn Nets should have concerns, but they weren't my pick anyway. I still got the 76ers to come out of the Eastern Conference. So neither here nor there with or without James Harden. My pick is the 76ers, and I'm
with
not
James
switching it
Harden.
up.
With James Harden, just mark my words. James Harden gets healthy. Not only do the 76ers not have a chance, there's not a team in the NBA capable of taking the Nets 7 games in a series. Not one.
And Molly, he don't have to come to Beaumont, Texas to visit me. I'll fly to New York and make Max smell my cologne. Issey Miyake or Bond number 9.
Long as you wear a lot of it, Perk. I don't know about that.
Whatever.
That's not easy to keep clean. Let's be honest.
Oh, my goodness. So fresh and
you
so
use
clean.
shampoo in that, or what do you do with that?
These are out of control. All right, I'm being told we have to go. I'm getting distracted by this conversation here. Big Perk, I understand you got a list for us, kind of like a Stephen A's list. I cannot wait for that. About to school some folks. Perk will be back. We got some NFL to get into now, though, so we'll say goodbye to you for a moment. Wait till you hear what accomplishment Tom would trade 2 of his Super Bowl rings for. 2 rings for this. We'll tell you that next. In one of the greatest corners of all time. You mad, bro? Richard